Ahmed was just a boy, 17 years old. He had dreams like any other teenager, dreams of freedom, of a life without barriers. But his reality was starkly different. He lived in a refugee camp. It wasn't a home, it was a reminder. A constant, unyielding reminder of displacement, of a life uprooted, a reminder of what they had lost. The keys to homes that no longer existed, the photographs of a past that seemed like a distant dream. The West Bank was occupied. Israeli soldiers were everywhere. They controlled everything. Checkpoints were everywhere, humiliating, degrading. Each checkpoint was a barrier not just of movement, but of dignity. The soldiers were always armed. Their presence was a constant reminder of the power imbalance, of the occupation that dictated every aspect of life. They looked at Ahmed and his friends with suspicion. Their eyes were cold. There was no trust, only a deep-seated mistrust that permeated the air. Their fingers twitched on their triggers, ready to act at the slightest provocation, real or imagined. Fear was a constant companion. It shadowed every step, every breath. The fear of the unknown, of what might happen next. But Ahmed refused to be defined by fear. He clung to hope. Hope was his shield, his way of resisting the oppression that sought to break his spirit. He dreamed of a better future, a future where he could walk freely, where his dreams were not confined by walls and checkpoints, a future where Palestine was free, where the flag could wave without fear, where peaceful protests were met with understanding, not violence, where children could laugh without fear, where their laughter was a melody of freedom, not a sound that could be silenced by the crack of a rifle, where hope could bloom again, in the hearts of the young and old, in the streets and homes, in the very soil of Palestine. Ahmed was a dreamer. He loved to read. From a very young age, books were his constant companions. Books were his escape. They transported him to faraway lands, lands of freedom and justice. In those pages, he found solace and hope. He devoured stories of resistance, of ordinary people rising against the odds. These tales of bravery and resilience resonated deeply with him. These stories fueled his spirit. They ignited a fire within him, a burning desire to make a difference.
I would share these stories with my friends. We would sit together for hours, discussing the heroes and their struggles. We would gather in secret, talking in hushed tones. The fear of being overheard was always present, but our determination was stronger. We shared the same dream, a dream of a free Palestine, a land where we could live without fear, without oppression.
They knew they had to do something. The stories they read were not just tales, they were blueprints for action. But what could they do? They were young, inexperienced, and unarmed. The odds seemed insurmountable. They were just boys. They had no guns, no bombs. Their resources were limited, but their resolve was unbreakable. All they had were stones. Stones that littered the streets of their camp. Stones that bore witness to their struggle. Stones that would become their weapons. These stones, though small, symbolized their resistance. They were a testament to their courage and their unwavering spirit. It started small, a few boys, throwing stones at the soldiers, an act of defiance, a way to fight back. They knew they couldn't defeat the soldiers, but they could resist.
The soldiers responded with violence, tear gas, rubber bullets, but we didn't back down. We were fighting for our homes, our families, our future.
Word spread. More people joined the uprising. Soon the streets were filled with people, young and old, men and women, all united in their resistance. The stone uprising had begun. The stones were more than weapons. They were symbols, symbols of resistance, of defiance, of hope. They were a way for the powerless to fight back, to make their voices heard. Each stone carried a message of anger, of frustration, of determination. The world was watching. They could no longer ignore the plight of the Palestinians. The stones were a reminder that even the smallest act of resistance can make a difference, that even in the darkest of times, hope can still bloom.
I had a gift that was more than just a talent. It was a calling. I was a natural storyteller. My stories were not written with words, but captured through the lens of a camera. I saw the world through a different lens. I carried a camera, my father's old camera. It was my weapon. I documented everything. Every moment, every tear, every act of defiance. The raids, the protests, the violence, the everyday struggles of my people. I wanted the world to see the truth. the truth that was often hidden behind headlines and political agendas, the truth that the media ignored, the stories that were too inconvenient to tell. I uploaded my photos and videos online. I used every platform available to me. I shared them with journalists who were willing to listen, to see, to share. I wanted the world to know what was happening in Palestine, to understand the reality of our lives.
His photos were powerful. They were more than just images. They were a testament to the human spirit. They captured the human cost of the occupation, the faces of those who lived through it, the pain, the suffering, the resilience, the unbreakable spirit of a people. And well, the world took notice. Slowly but surely, the world began to see, to understand, to care.
One day, everything changed. I was at a protest. Soldiers were firing tear gas. People were running, screaming. I was filming. I wanted to capture it all. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my leg. I looked down. Blood. I had been shot. A rubber bullet. I fell to the ground. Pain surged through me, but I kept filming. I refused to let the pain stop me. I knew the world was watching. I had to show them what was happening. I had to show them the truth.
Ahmed's footage went viral. It was shared millions of times. People were outraged. They demanded justice. They stood in solidarity with Palestine. Ahmed became a symbol of courage, of resistance, of hope. He showed the world that even in the face of oppression, one person can make a difference.
My story inspired others. It gave them hope. It showed them that they were not alone, that their voices mattered, that change was possible.
The Stone Uprising was a turning point. It showed the world that the Palestinian people would no longer be silenced, that we would continue to fight for our freedom. Ahmed's story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can still bloom, that even the smallest act of resistance can make a difference.
The fight for freedom is long, but the spirit of the Intifada lives on, in the hearts of the Palestinian people, and in the hearts of all those who believe in justice and equality and freedom.